call that radio. You call that radio TV. No. You call that radio TV.
This is You Call That Radio.
This is You Call That Radio, and we're about to go live to the legendary Mrs. Magoo. Absolutely buzzing for this one. Thanks to everyone who's joining us. This is the third show of today, so if you've not seen the other ones, then do check the YouTube channel for amazing guests today we've had. So if you want to see more of the show, then go to hit the subscribe button, and you can look at all the previous shows that have been on this week. We did 9 shows in 3 days, and I think this is number 6. It's number 6 show of the week so far. So I think we'll just go and bring on the legendary Mrs. Magoo. Mrs. Magoo, can you hear me?
Oh, hi.
Great to see you. How's it going? I seen you posted a tweet or a status the other day saying that the bookings are returning.
Yeah, man. Like they've announced down in England, Boris said that we're looking to have nightclubs open by the 21st of June. So I woke up yesterday to messages in my inbox for bookings later on this year. I so can't wait. It's been a long and shitty year.
It's amazing, and it's good to hear some positive news. Absolutely. Fingers crossed. It's all legit, and it happens. But it's where, without giving too much away, your bookings, where are you hoping to go in June?
Okay, so there's one down in Swindon. There's one in Ulverston. There's a festival I'm discussing about at the minute, and I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, we're starting to get the ball.
That's long. That's a great start. And how long is it since you actually managed to play a live gig?
It's actually been a year this weekend. 1 second, my cat's just trying to jump out my window. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Well, madam.
Let's introduce your cat. Could you introduce your cat?
Yeah, this is Melody. She is my little baby. She's about a year and a half now.
Wow. I'll get a wee banner for Melody. Melody is cat. Let's see. So yeah, if Melody comes back on, then we've got a wee.
Awesome.
Then we're ready for Melody. So yeah, a year ago.
Yeah,
a year ago this week.
Literally a year this weekend. My last booking, it was out in the States in Massachusetts. I've got the flyer up there actually. New England Junglist Massive. Oh, you can't see it. It's above those. Never mind. But yeah, I flew out there for the weekend, and it was definitely a good way to go out. We went out with a bang.
Oh, sorry. Massachusetts. It was that part, because I remember. I mean, I've seen you've been traveling the world with your music, and quite deservedly so. Was the Massachusetts thing, was that part of a wider tour, or how did that come about?
That was originally, we had planned for that to be a part of my tour, but dates just didn't work out. So that ended up just being a one-off weekend, literally about a month after I got back from being on tour. So it was a shame that we couldn't actually add it in. So it was part of the whole big thing, but yeah, still made the effort to go out and do it, you know.
Of course. And I mean, what was your first international gig outside of outside of the UK? Say.
My first one was actually 3 years ago, and I still class it as international. It was in Dublin, and that was with a crew called Feel the Underground Beats, and that was literally the first time getting on a plane, leaving the country by myself. It was bloody scary, to say the least. And then things just kind of started going good after that. Started hitting the States. I've been to Germany, Amsterdam. Yeah, it's been good.
Do you have a favourite?
I mean, I'll be honest, I fucking love America, by the way. The love that they have for the music out there is insane. The fans are just, they're so extra. they really appreciate you being there, and it's so nice to feel that level of appreciation, which sometimes I think we maybe miss a little in the UK, just a little.
Is it obviously, how would you describe the music you make? Sort of jungle, or have you got a specific?
Definitely jungle. Like, I'm definitely a jungle head. I love my.
So is it because, like, I mean, obviously I don't know, but is America? Is it more of a sort of almost newer thing over there? Is that why you're getting a bit more appreciation for it?
I'm not too sure, really. Like, I think it's just because it's such a niche thing out in the States, you know. When they have events, they're generally quite small out there, so they're really intimate vibes, and people are literally driving like 4 or 5 hours to come and see a wee show in a little town somewhere. So it's so much more effort for them to come and attend these things, whereas here everything's so close by, you know. So I think they just appreciate it more, just all of the effort to pull these things off and make them successful.
We've got lots of people tuned in already. We've got S. Eastwood says, Magoo in my back garden. The cat is a legend, says Chris.
Yes.
Easy melody, says Philippa.
Melody gets all the love.
Yeah, Alexandra is giving her love as well. We've got Magoo, you legend. Some love for you as well. You guys ready? Oi, oi. We have Alexandra tuned in. We've got Petra is tuned in. We've got we've got Somatics in the house as well.
Big ups, everybody.
For Poland, Anna.
Awesome.
For Poland, and also we've got
Poland. You know, I'd love to go there.
Well, do you know, he's your man to speak to. He is. He was actually working on a festival that we were kind of booked in to play. It was penciled in at least. Just before all everything went a bit mad, and then it nearly came back because Poland they really eased things down around about May, June, so it nearly did happen, but obviously it's just hard to plan anything at the moment, as you know, as you just take everything as it comes, I suppose. But it's exciting that the bookings are coming back in, because that always suggests that we're getting really close to some sort of normality, which is really exciting. We've got
I'm so excited for it. I think one of the hardest things as a DJ is without having the crowd there in front of you, like seeing them face to face, you don't really know how your sets are going down. I mean, don't get me wrong, with the live streams, you can read the comments and stuff, but it's not the same as feeling the energy. So that's been sorely missed.
What about the live streaming thing? How have you been getting on with that?
I've really been enjoying it, actually. Live streams, I've been doing live streams for years, since before the whole COVID thing. So
before it was cool.
Sorry?
Before it was cool.
Yeah, before it was cool. So I just kind of kept that momentum up, really. Probably picked up a couple more streams than what I usually would do. Yeah, it's been good. It's been nice. I've met like lots of awesome people through the live streams, of course. Yeah.
We've got S.E. Smith here saying, big up to you, Mrs. Magoo. Your lockdown mixes have kept me sane.
Oh, that's so nice. Big up, Stuart.
Thomas has just confirmed that he's looking for DJs, so hit him up.
Awesome. I will do.
It looks like Mrs. Magoo in Poland may happen.
That would be so cool.
Mrs. Magoo's strawberry margarita streams.
Okay, so I'm not a big drinker, but I do love a margarita. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, sometimes the margaritas come out for a stream.
Well, it's like a night out, isn't it? You know,
it really is.
Because obviously we do the live streams, pretty much every day since lockdown began, and you call that radio. But normally it's just a chat, and I'm just on the juice tonight and stuff. But there is certain nights where it's like we get a whole bunch of acts on, or we do an occasional pub quiz, and I think that you need to be drunk to do a pub quiz. It just seems like that's kind of the law, and it is. It's I'll even put my suit on. I've not worn that suit since I quit playing Football Manager game 12 years ago. I used to have to wear that for the cup final, obviously. Energy levels are fire, says Chris.
Oh, go on, Chris. Thanks.
Your live streams are amazing, and insane live mixes as well, and it's I suppose we'll just sort of, after no live gigs, I mean, what do you think it's going to be like, that first one?
Honestly, I'm gonna cry. I know it. I'm like quite an emotionally sensitive person anyway, so I know just being surrounded by hundreds of people and feeling the atmosphere and the vibes and the vibrations from the music, like it's going to be really overwhelming, and I'm going to be a teary mess all night. Guarantees.
Ian Diamond's saying yes, he misses it. Of course, Diamond likes his beats as well. And yeah, I suppose that hopefully, do you think it's going to be a case of the gratitude is going to be overwhelming, things we took for granted? Because before, I mean, how often were you playing live? You always seem to be busy.
I generally do like one booking a weekend. I try not to overdo myself too much. Being up in Scotland, I'm kind of away from where all of the drum and bass really is, which is down in England. So traveling down there by like bus or something, it can really, really take it out of me. So I tend to take on like one, maybe two, if they're close by, of a week. And yeah, it's been a good couple of years since I won the award. It's been...
Tell us about the award, because I think you said that's your proudest moment.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I was nominated the year before and I came second, and then in 2017 I was voted the best female jungle DJ at the Jungle Awards. I've actually got that bad boy right there. Definitely the proudest moment of my life ever. I never thought I would get the kind of recognition that I do for what I do. You know, it was always just a hobby and something that I enjoyed that kind of pulled me out of a rut. So it's amazing to be where I am now.
That deserves a round of applause.
You call that radio?
Fucking radio. Here to tell people that we hear you. One God will not allow.
You call that radio?
However you want to see it.
You call that radio?
You call that radio?
However you want to say it, that's kind of part of the fun.
Powered by our patrons.
Brothers and sisters.
We are indeed powered by our patrons. This show would not be possible without the support that everyone gives us. Also, we are going to go live to YouTube only. So if you're watching this on Facebook, Twitch, or anything like that, then you need to click the link and get the bus to YouTube to watch the rest of the show. I'll put the link in the comments. So buy Facebook, buy Twitch, and buy the rest of them. Let's go back to the start. How did you start DJing?
So I was kind of brought up with rave music because of my dad. I used to steal his tape packs from raves like Helter Skelter and Dreamscape when I was like 8 and 9 years old. So I was always into the rave music, and I knew that DJing was something I always wanted to do. But I didn't actually start until I was like 17. I got my hands on a set of decks, and yeah, the rest is history, really. I was addicted from the get-go.
And what was the music? What kind of music were you playing at the start?
I started with happy hardcore, of all things.
Yes.
It's definite. I couldn't do a whole night of that now, but I still get like little nostalgia trips now and again where I'll play a couple of tunes here and there, you know, feel like I'm 17 again. It's good fun.
Oh, do you know what we had the amazing Mary Kiani on You Call That Radio a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago, at the end of January, and that's what we done a couple of days before it. We got a disco light out and just danced about to just rave tunes, a bit of happy hardcore, and it was just such an amazing experience. I'd recommend anyone out there who's kind of missing the vibe just to stick on a disco light. I mean, it won't work every week, you know what I mean, but just that for the first, if you've not seen a disco light in a while, then just turn the light off, put the tunes up
flick the
loud.
lights on and off.
If you've not got a disco light, just
Bro.
flick the light switch on and off. That also has the same effect. And so how long was it before you made the transition to happy hardcore to drum and bass jungle and stuff like that?
So it was probably a couple of years, to be fair. So I started 17, so I reckon probably about by 19, that's when I started going to the dark side. And then by 20, I was definitely junglist, fully fledged. Like no more chipmunks and I was all about.
Was there a gig? What was it a gig? Did you go to a night or something that just made you? Did it just click with you? Was it just a moment when you went, "This is my shit"?
What it was I actually started working with a couple of people at the bank, and they were drum and bass DJs, and I was happy hardcore DJ. So we became friends. I invited them round to come do a radio show and stuff, and they brought their tunes, and then we started like mixing back to back, so the happy hardcore back to back with the drum and bass. And then when the guys weren't around, I noticed I was really missing those sounds, and I was like, nah, do you know what? I'm gonna have to start collecting some drum and bass. And then once I started doing that, I just totally got the bug, and I couldn't even bear to do the happy hardcore at that point. I was just like, this is it. This is my shit.
So there was not a middle ground of techno in between or anything like that?
No.
Well, do you know, it's I think in Glasgow there was a jungle scene, but it was always very, very niche, like you were saying. So for me, jungle music is probably one of my favourite night out, because it always reminds me of like a weird after party that nobody knew about, and you just suddenly ended up places, and it would just be or a field or a tunnel, and it was just. It reminds me of those good times, those sort of secret parties where it was just like there was this little crowd of people who seemed to know about the tunes, and that's why I love it so much.
Drum and bass and jungle is definitely very niche, especially in Scotland. But I mean, obviously, there's pros and cons of that, and I do think that, you know, like you say, those smaller secret parties, they're small, intimate vibes. They're like a lot of fun. I love Scotland for that, to be totally honest with you. They're so good.
It would just be good if there's just a little bit more, just so that, you know, you could actually, from a career point of view, just a little bit more, keep the underground thing, but maybe more towns or cities to be able to accommodate it. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? We've got some questions coming in. Alexandra says, we need you back in the USA, hopefully October.
I think I know the one that you're talking about, but I don't think so, unfortunately. I reckon international travel's probably going to be next year, I think, to be totally honest with you. But yeah, if that changes, you'll be the first to know.
Craig Lowden, absolute legend. He says, love your mixes, Mr. Magoo. He did a couple of drum and bass remixes for Jackal Trades, one of my projects.
Awesome.
Amazing stuff. Craig, feel free to stick a link to your Spotify link in the comments so people can check out, because he's done a great job. Production just is really improved, and he's just absolutely smashing it right now.
Awesome. I'd love to check out what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be up your street. I think you'd love it. Lewis says, Miss Magoo, seen you live and it kicked off. What a night. I follow Bellyman. Never thought there was a drum and bass scene up in Glasgow till I came across. Much love.
Oh, that's so awesome. Bellyman is amazing. I've been working with Bellyman for quite a few years now. He's a fucking legend for sure. Big up Bellyman.
And that's Somatics saying definitely well deserved, talking about the award. Absolutely, very well deserved. And Chris saying raving all through the 90s, Scottish junglists and junglettes, always the most fun, great memories.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that I love the most about jungle music is at the parties and stuff, people just let loose. You know, they just fully enjoy the music, and it doesn't matter how you move or how you dance. Like, everybody's just getting down with it. Nobody cares. It's so good.
It's hard to be middle of the road dancing at jungle, so you get less people trying to be cool. It's just go for it and attack that dance floor. Philippa, sorry if I'm missing that wrong. Queen of the Jungle in the house. And And Sharon says, Mark, I've got a disco ball. Better not put that on tonight. Being a bit mental. Well, keep it. No, keep it for when the time is right. It's not right all the time, but you'll know when it's the right time. If you're watching something and you think, or you're just feeling like you need the tunes. Someone keeps on. A few people are asking about your new merchandise. Can you tell us about your new merchandise?
Aye, so I dropped my merch with a brand called Dynamic Threads. I'll drop the link in the comments in a second. So we launched last year. We're doing just a couple of like Magoo t-shirts and stuff at the minute. I wish I'd grabbed one for the stream actually.
Well, we are going to play a little clip of you in action in a little bit, so maybe that would give you time to do that.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Okay. Well, do you know what? We'll do it just now because I know that there's a lot of Mrs. Magoo fans tuned in, but I know there's a lot of You Call That Radio viewers tuned in who might not be aware of your music before. So I've actually got, I mean, we know that the copyright robots are not going to like anything that I do here, but I'm going to take a punt on maybe the 59th degree because I know that Metronome will probably, he'll let it fly.
Yeah.
And if he's got away with it, because obviously this is the one I'm looking at is from 2019. So the copyright robots have already allowed him that. Yeah. So I think it's maybe the safest one to go for. I mean, big up Metronome as well. Can you remember this? We're going back to, I think you did 2, didn't you? So this is February 2019. What was it like doing that show?
Metronome is a really, really lovely guy, actually. He first invited me up for a show a couple of years ago. He's just a good soldier, you know, a good egg. He's doing good bits for the scene. And to be honest, Scotland needed somewhere that was hosting a regular drum and bass show and getting in regular guests from around the ends. And he was one of the first people to do it. So
yeah, he was another one live streaming before it was cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously the Facebook copyright robots took him down in the end, but for a while he was able to just bring out a really good quality video and audio experience, and the numbers he was getting were insane. I mean, I think on this YouTube one, you know, it's multiples of thousands for this show here, but I mean, Facebook was crazy, man. I can't even remember the exact numbers, but the Facebook, I think at that time as well, Facebook Live were trying to compete with YouTube streaming, so they were showing it to more people as well. And he just rode that wave, and so many good guests introduced me to so many amazing artists. So let's check it out. I'll give you time to get your merch on as well. Yeah, this is from Metronome. I'll put a wee link in the comments to Metronome's YouTube channel as well, because there's loads of stuff on there that I'm sure you will all enjoy.
Last year's winner of Best Female DJ, Queen of the Jungle. Yes, to all of you locked in already. John's locked in. Digital Trusion gets the first comment though. Get sharing. Just a Brian. Harry Honkin. Wolfie Green. Live till 8 PM tonight. Cheers, Peter, for the share.
before they try to.
Brothers and sisters, may the peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale.
Powered by our patrons. Yeah, sorry about that. We seem to be clipping a wee bit there. I don't know if,
No worries.
I don't know if it's the YouTube robots are trying to take me down, or it might be the internet, because I don't know if I think you did hear a certain East End of Glasgow had an internet blackout for about 12 hours, and people were losing their mind.
Scottish internet.
It's bad enough. Internet cutting out's always bad for people, but I think especially that everyone's working from home. Everybody, people are homeschooling. People like school kids are using the internet. So what ended up happening was the whole of the East End were all using their data. So I was like going back to the 1G Nokia days.
My God.
And it was quite worrying because we're doing 3 shows a day. But yeah, so we've got internet back, but it's a little bit funny. So, but loads of people remembering that show. We've got, we remember Joe McCann, legend. He says, we remember listening to this set, magic, banging set. Chris saying those energy levels, love fire, love that. Philippa says, I remember that show, one of the first times that I saw her and been hooked since. Big up Metronome with his badger. Goodness, of course, the badger.
Oh, the badgers. Oh, I love Metronome so much.
And yeah, basically a guy in the mic literally saying anything and smashing it like you, Magoo. What do you have MCs? Do you encourage collaborations, or do you just like to just play the tunes?
I definitely do like to play the tunes. There's a couple of MCs that I would work with. One of them would always be Bellyman. He's a pleasure to work with. He knows when to be quiet and let the tune ride. He knows how to work the crowd and really get that engagement from them. It's fucking amazing. And
that is a skill. It's about what you don't say. I've had the privilege of doing a few myself, at a very amateur level, obviously, but did a couple at the classic. Did one at the Classic Grand. Did one at a festival, and one time that I think I got it right was at the art school, and it was James Windybank. He was closing the art school. I think it was Frog Beats put on that night. It was amazing. It was packed, and I just think I had the level of self-awareness to shut the fuck up, and let it, because it annoys me obviously when I'm watching an amazing set and there's someone that just loves the sound of their own voice too much, but when it's done right, it is incredible because it does get the crowd hyped. But yeah, less is more.
It must take like a lot of self-control to like not want to fill the spaces though. Like, I don't know. I'd imagine that must be quite hard to find the happy medium.
Well, don't ask me. I never found it, but I got better. I think I got better.
I actually discovered you at a festival a couple of years ago. I think it was Eden Festival. And me and my pal Getty, we saw your band, the Gyro Babies.
Oh yeah, no, I think I know it when you're that was that not Soulfest? Because I seen you in the crowd.
Was it maybe Soulfest? I don't know. It was one of those like smaller festivals.
Yeah, well, we were. Well, I don't know if you've seen me before, any other time, but I remember seeing you in the crowd at Soulfest, and we were playing this little stage, and we were totally winging it to the point that our drummer did not had a practice. He listened to the songs in the car on the way down the drive. We had a new guitarist. We had a makeshift synth player. The only person that was actually in the band was Joe Dark of the Twistettes fame, and so she was. So we were totally winging it, and I seen you in the crowd, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, don't judge us in this one. But it was just one of those. It was one of those ones where, see, trying to get everyone to agree to a schedule.
Yeah,
it's a difficult thing being in a band. You need 5 people, and I used to be really strict with, unless 5 people agree with it, it doesn't happen. But then I realised we were missing out on so many opportunities. Festivals started booking earlier and earlier, so you're getting the offered gigs in December. And people are like, oh, I don't know what I'll be doing in June or July. And I'm like, well, I want to be playing a festival. So I just started accepting all the gigs. And then then figuring out what I would do when it arrived. So sometimes I'd be cussing past Mark for putting me into situations, but then by the end of it, I was just happy to be at a festival, because for me, it's my natural habitat. I love everything about the festival world, just being able to bounce around, meeting old friends, meeting new people, and just if something's not to your taste, you can bounce into another tent and find something that is.
Totally. Well, even though, like you were saying, it was a bit of a like improv set or whatever, like I fucking fell in love with your band that day. I thought you guys were totally amazing. So
that's very kind. I appreciate that. I should also point out that, to be fair, that even with the full team, we're not that tight anyway. Being raw is, I suppose, part of the charm.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
We've got a question about who is your jungle scene legend?
Hands down, it's got to be DJ Randall all day long. He's the DJ's DJ, you know, like he's amazing. I just love the way he mixes. He does proper long rolling mixes. Nowadays, I think a lot of DJs, it's just how many tunes you can play as quick as you can. And for me, I love the blends, you know. So he's king of the blends, like for sure.
And what about, have you managed to meet many of your heroes?
I have actually. I've had the pleasure to meet and work with quite a lot of my heroes over the years. I've done sets with the likes of Kenny Ken, Nicky Black Market, Benny L, Shimon. It's been fucking amazing, to be honest.
Wow. Excuse me. That's incredible. I need to hit the name drop. The name drop.
You call that radio?
Fantastic, amazing like that. You're just listing off a who's who of the greatest.
Sorry?
You're just listing off a who's who of the greatest.
Pretty much, yeah. I want to tick Randall off that list, though. I'm telling you.
Is that one for the bucket list?
It really is. It would be a dream come true to run a set with Randall. Like, oh my gosh.
How do you feel about a back-to-back with Randall? Or how do you feel about back-to-backs in general?
I love a back-to-back. I love a proper back-to-back. To me, a proper back-to-back is like 3 tunes each, you know? And you're bouncing off of each other's selection. It's good because it makes you think on your feet. It keeps you on your toes rather than always going with what you know sounds good, you know, because you're practicing all the time. The other DJ could play something that you've never heard before in your life, and you got to think there and then, boy, what's going to go with this? Like, how can I match that? I love that. It's good, you know, gets you out of your comfort zone a wee bit.
Now, as a guy who can DJ worth a fuck, my equivalent to that would be a game called Alphabet YouTube, which is where, you know, if you're in a few years in a wee party and it's kind of dying down a bit, and you're trying to think of tunes, and you're just like, I don't know if it's being tired or whatever, but when you've got the access to the internet, you've got access to YouTube, pick any song in the world you want. It's hard to sometimes pick the tune. However, there's too much stuff out there. However, when you say, right, your letter A, your letter B, your letter C, and it goes round in a circle, so then you've got to think of an artist beginning with the letter E or something like that. And what's really good about that is it makes your brain think differently, and you end up playing all sorts of amazing music that you forgot even existed. It's submerged somewhere deep in your subconscious.
Yeah, so, definitely. That sounds like a fun game, actually.
Well, it's it's a game worth playing, especially if, I'm sure it's good for DJs as well, but if you're not a DJ, it's the closest as you'll get to feeling that pressure of a back-to-back where you know that you've got to be better than the next person. If you could DJ anywhere, where would it be and why?
I mean, if you'd have asked me that before COVID, it would have been Glastonbury. And I totally ticked that off the list. Boomtown is definitely on the bucket list. Boomtown was actually booked last year.
So, see, mate, Boomtown it's been on my bucket list for years, and we finally get booked for it. And then nothing.
COVID year.
It's almost like COVID doesn't give a fuck about us playing Boomtown.
It actually
what
does.
A rude virus.
What a wee dick.
It's a rude virus. Big ups for Magoo from the USA, says Heidi.
Oh, big up, Heidi.
And Sharon's agreeing that she loves her back-to-back.
Nice one, Sharon.
And here's a quite a good question. Which DNB do you most dislike?
Probably like that neurofunk stuff, because it's just pure noise. Please don't hate me for saying that, but it is. It's just a racket. Ugh.
Yeah.
Or like that really screechy jump up stuff. Like jump up in the late 90s, early 90s was fucking amazing, but the stuff that they call jump up now, it just sounds like Transformer nursery rhymes. It's pretty gross.
Amen, Queen, says Heidi.
Yeah, man, I love my amens.
What about outside of your genre? Is there any bands or other artists that you enjoy listening to?
Do you know what? I'm a bit of a sucker for Lewis Capaldi and Jerry Cinnamon. I love those two. I think they're great. I listen to like a lot of 90s hip hop as well. I find that stuff really inspiring for some reason, but I suppose it comes through quite a lot in a lot of drum and bass music. There's a lot of hip hop samples and stuff. Yeah, I love my hip hop.
Absolutely, the golden era. I'll agree with you on that one. It's just yeah, it sounded fresh, and it just, you know, when people try to recreate 90s hip hop now, it just sounds old. But yeah, when you listen to it when it came out, it's just the best music ever. It's good for getting you psyched up and ready to go.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Chris is saying you're bang on with all the answers tonight.
Oh, nice one, thank you. I've been a bit of a sweaty mess about this interview.
Well, no, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and thanks for promoting it as well, because it's amazing the amount of people that come on the show and don't tell their fans that they're going to be on the show, which is always quite surprising to me. So
I don't
I do appreciate.
understand why anyone would do that. That's like getting booked for a gig and not advertising the booking that you have.
Well, they do that as well. Probably the same people.
It doesn't make sense. Like, I want my fans to know everything that I'm doing. Like, I want them to be involved in everything I'm doing as much as possible. That's just crazy.
Well, yeah, I've I mean, obviously I see it from the artist point of view, and I put on gigs myself, so I see it from the promoter's point of view. And I totally agree with the point that it's up to the promoter to sell the tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, it's you have the keys to all your fans. You know, there's nobody. You know, a promoter can't reach your fans the way that you can reach your fans, because you've got access to your social media as well. So it's a bit of a joint responsibility there to pack the place out. And it's your gig. You want it to be full of people. And it's even better when you're playing to people that already know you and they're already aware of what to expect.
Absolutely. I'm definitely proud of like all of my bookings and streams and everything as well. I want to shout them from the rooftops. Like
Quite right. What was it like coming into a more male dominated industry? Did you find there was some barricades that maybe that male DJs didn't have?
This is my favorite topic. It's definitely, I think it's definitely different for women, especially with regards to how we dress and stuff. It's a difficult one. I mean, I've been discriminated against for dressing the way I dress because I'm not girly. I've been told that I should lose the hat and I should wear more girly clothes, and then maybe that certain promoters will book me, and I'm just like, do you know what? No, because that's not me, and I'm not here to be looked at that way. I'm here for you to listen to me, you know? Like, there's a lot of pressure on us for how we look and dress, and I think that kind of sucks. But I've stuck. Do
you think that you've the fact that you have stuck to your guns? Because obviously, it's absolutely mental. I mean, that just doesn't happen to guys. People don't tell you how you should dress. It just doesn't happen. But do you think that because you have stuck to your guns and you've been yourself, and I think that, you know, it doesn't matter if you've been a DJ or an artist or any walk of life, just being a person, it's about being yourself, and otherwise you're a fraud as far as I'm concerned. Why be something that you're not? Do you think that, is it getting better now? Is maybe because you've shown that you can just be yourself and still be successful? Do you think that that's maybe changed? I'm sure it's changed the bookings. I'm sure that you're personally going to get less people telling you what to do.
I mean, I do try to to put across a positive message for women, especially young women, to know that you don't have to sexualize yourself to be successful in music. And I think that's a really important message to put across, especially to the next generation, because there is so much pressure on them to do these things in order to further their career. And I think that's a shame. And I know how much it hurt me to hear these things, you know, especially when I was younger, when my skin maybe wasn't as thick as it is now. It cuts deep, you know. So I do try.
Well, fuck them. You're doing great.
Thank you.
And they're probably not, I would guess. We've got people saying, John Scott says, I love your B-girl style.
Oh, nice one. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Beatstar Bro, One Love, DNB, says Nigel, Rare Walker.
How big up, Joe?
Chris says DJ Rare and Nottingham in the house, big up. You let us know where these are all from, and let us know if you've ever seen Mr. Magoo live, where it was. I'd like to hear any stories. We'll get nostalgia. I think because it seems like bookings are back on the table, it's okay to be a bit nostalgic about the old ones.
Yeah, we can talk about gigs again.
I think we can talk about it. There was a time where I didn't want to talk about it for a while, but it's the spring is in the air, and I think that, you know, I think at the very least we can look forward to maybe some smaller outdoor gatherings in Scotland as well. Just you know, maybe a bit more respectful, a bit more careful gatherings than we maybe like.
That was something that really bugged me about last year. Was there was like some socially distanced events going on down in England, but nothing up here in Scotland, and that was really grim to watch. Like, so hopefully they give us something now.
What does Sham say? Especially with social media and everything to be so instant. I didn't get the start of that, so I don't know what you mean, Sham, but I think we're agreeing with something. We've got, what other female DNB DJs do you rate?
Definitely got a shout out DJ Phonetic. She's my favorite DJ. She's sick. She's up and coming. Her selection is on point. Her mixing's great, and her work ethic is on point. And she's humble, man. Like, being a humble person goes a long way with me. She's, big up Lottie.
It really does. Like, it makes a massive difference to, I mean, obviously, I think that there is an element of, when you reach a certain level of fame, I sometimes give them a little bit more benefit of the doubt, because, you know, if you're really, really famous and you've been traveling the world with people blowing smoke up your arse for decades, then it's quite hard for you to be grounded. But many people do it. It should be done. But yeah, man, it's amazing when you actually meet someone who is famous, who just takes the time out just to say hello or anything like that.
Absolutely. Like, you know, like Nicky Black Market, for example, he's probably one of the most humble, down-to-earth people I've ever met in drum and bass. And I think that's amazing, because he's been in the industry for so long and he's never let that, like, give him an ego, you know? He's so approachable, and I think that's super awesome. More people should aspire to be like that.
Well, I'm going to try and play another little clip of you doing your thing. Hopefully my internet can handle it. But it's the Banana Camp show. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, the Banana Camp show. That was out in Chicago, actually, when I was on tour. I'm not sure which tour number it was. But those guys, they're doing super awesome things over there. They hold like pool parties, and he does regular streams, interviews people and stuff. So big shout out going out to David. Like, that was good fun. Nice wee stop on the tour.
Brilliant stuff. Let's just give it a wee check, see if it works okay. And give us your. I'll fast forward a wee bit because there's a bit of talking at the beginning. Give us your stories. Have you seen Mrs. Magoo live, and what was it like? And I'll just go skip the talking.
The scene where he feeds me donuts and then asks me a question. Oh no!
And they're still talking. Oh yeah. Now we've got the tunes, and live from Chicago as well, which is so cool. And what's Chicago like?
Chicago is, honestly, it's such an amazing city. I fell in love with that city, to be honest. It's a bit rough around the edges, I'm not gonna lie. But the people there are just amazing. The food is so good. The atmosphere in the city, it's electric. I loved it so much. Yeah.
Well, let's just watch a little bit from that set live from Chicago.
Are you alone out here? What are you doing so deep? What are you doing so deep in the jungle? Are you alone out here? What are you doing so deep in the jungle?
We broke a buckle in your head side and go bad up place in your neck side. Covering your move inside and outside. Right seat, yellow tip, select your sheet size. And the bag away man, some these guys. I'm on all the pins and I'm on them not street wise. Your place, your the these guys. Just on a garbage. Just on a garbage. Just on a garbage. We got your arm with the phone. Some boy dash on them one shooting gallery. Who got them other way? Done them life can't follow away. No dirty jump and sing fence on boy can't come call away. Now them yalla must run away. Yeah, follow me, follow me. Big sound up, concern themselves with no idiot sing pan. And a big bad bring them with you sing. Office sing pan. We know it nothing here clash like a brand new link. We a big bad gorilla King Kong. Just on a garbage. Just on a garbage. Just on a garbage. War 21 will plenty men.
Yeah, enough respect in the aspect to the man like Mark. They love how the man talk on the radio. Hey, you never know. You call that radio, call that the radio. You call that radio, call that the radio. Come and say, in the my name, I'll just go with the flow. In the my name, I'll just go with the flow. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Boom. Lot of mercy. Yo. You call that radio. You call that radio. Come and say, don't you be another man, I'll go lose your head. Say, don't you be another man, say, I'll lose the head. Me say, radio, call that a radio, straight from outer Glasgow, straight from outer Glasgow, nice enough on the studio. Come and say, in my name, I'll just go with the flow. In my name, I'll just go with the flow. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. No radio, you call that the radio.
Oh, fuck.
If you don't really know what's going on, there's a show that also doesn't know what's going on. Call that radio TV. You call that radio. Call that radio TV. You call that radio TV.
I love it. I love that someone has actually went ads raging. Sorry, it was an advert for the show that you're watching. We don't actually have any real adverts, but I just thought that maybe it's the green screen that I've taken. So I've taken down my green screen because I could hear it cutting out in and out a wee bit, and I was trying to think, how can I use less internet? Because normally I don't know exactly the download speeds, but we're going about half the rate that we normally go on. So I apologise for it kind of jumping about a bit. So hopefully by removing the green screen, which will be taking up a little bit of internet, we should be able to maybe play something without any skipping. Ads are important. They certainly are, because this show would not be possible without people tuning in and supporting. So if you do want to support the show, we've got a little Patreon here. We've done 250 shows since lockdown began, and it just wouldn't be possible without people supporting on that Patreon. But it's free for everyone if you can't afford to. That's fine as well.
That's amazing, though. Can I just say, 250 shows in a year? Pat yourself on the back, because the amount of work that goes into just getting people to be where you need them to be for that interview, and yeah, man, props.
Yeah, that's why when the internet was broke, and there was people saying to me earlier on the week, just take the week off. The internet gods have spoken. I'll spend my whole week rearranging 9 guests, because there's 9 guests on this week. So it's not, you've got to find, it doesn't work like that. You can't just say, oh, we'll just move it on to the following week, because the following week people could be doing different things on different days. And also next week's already booked. So it's not been easy, but it's been an absolute pleasure. You know me, I like to do things, and usually I'm either organising gigs or performing at gigs. So to do a year of nothing, it would drive me mental. Also, I would starve, because I wouldn't be able to make any money. So the patrons thanks to the generosity of the patrons who choose to support it, because people are saying put up a paywall, but we're doing them live gigs at Capture Works, which loses money every time we do it. People are like, you should charge a ticket for it, but the thing I worry about that is that how many people people would pay for tickets. You would make money, but there's people that watch this show that are skint, or they're already paying £3 a month, even though they're skint. And to put up a paywall, I just don't think it's the right thing right now. Maybe going forward when there's a bit of normality, but I think right now we just need to keep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's not I've just finished anyway, but I think that right now we just need to stay connected as much as we possibly can, and I don't want to be putting up any further walls for people right now.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said earlier, I've been doing the stream since before the whole COVID thing. So all of a sudden now to be charging my fans for something that I've done for free for years, it feels a bit mean, and I don't want to do that to them. we need the music now more than ever. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that, as a DJ, if you're mixing anyway, you're going to be working on tunes. Why not share your tunes with the world, and you're going to reach more people? And obviously, it's a really tough year, but hopefully, people are going to support your merchandise. I forgot about that. Did you get merchandise?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this
And
is
how
one
can
of
people
the...
how can people get this merch? Let's put a banner up for it.
Let me put a link in because I'm running from different phones at the minute, and I only have the link saved on this phone. So that's the link in the comments there.
Okay.
But yeah, this is one of the limited edition designs. So we only do about 20 of these, and then there's no more. But there's other shirts and stuff as well. I also have like my Amen Brother and Amen Sister range. Like we're doing varsity jackets with those at the minute. They're pretty cool.
Sorry, just to confirm the link. What is it? Where is it? It's just I don't see.
I put it in the YouTube thing.
All right, okay. Do you know what? It might have been censored. Hold on, let me see. Let me just check that. Sometimes YouTube's got a language filter.
Right. See, because I don't think I can send you the link from this.
Can you do it in the private chat? See the private chat we've got?
Yeah, I don't have it saved in my phone. Hang on, I need to type it out.
That's all right. That's cool. And I'll just read out some more comments while you're doing that. Yes, my tee arrived in the same design, arrived yesterday. Somatics, big up for supporting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sharon says, you call that radio kept me going, and I've bought a t-shirt and 23 Universe. Shouts to David Blair, who's been doing a great podcast as well.
Oh, big up David Blair.
And Sharon is going to buy one of your t-shirts as well.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Alan Gravy says, Magoo, you're cool as fuck. I'll be checking more of your sets out. That's you're getting that's big ups to the polar bear as well. We've got a comment from Magoo, 100% genuine. S. Eastwood says, Magoo back to back with Frenetic, back to back with Randall.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that would be so dangerous. That's giving me like a hot flush just thinking about it. I swear, that would be insane.
Okay, I've got the link here. So to get your official merch, Mrs. Magoo merch, it's here.
That works. I had to totally just manually type that all out. That was a nightmare.
That's all right. It's I'm just going to check that it's all good. That was great. I was so I'm just going to, because I can bring it up on the screen if it's the correct one. Yeah, here we go. So I'm just going to show everyone. I'll take them a wee walk round the shop. Let's take them a wee walk round the shop. Sorry if this counts as an advert. S. Eastwood, I know you don't like that, but got to do what you got to do. You get these free interviews, you get these free sets, and you need to check out this. So yes, we've got Amen Brother, Amen Sister. We've got the hats. You know what? I'll buy a hat as soon as we come off air, because as you can see, I really need a haircut. And also when my green screen, because I've got straggly hair, it ruins the green screen. So I have to wear a hat, and I've been wearing the same two hats for about 2 weeks now.
Actually? That's crazy.
Well, I think it's just about the lighting. I could change the lighting around, but the whole studio is delicately balanced the way it should be. Yeah. So, you just don't want to mess with things too much, because I'd need to move things to see if it works. And then it's like, oh, it doesn't work as good as it was. So a hat helps that. It helps make the green screen look more realistic, and it helps hide the fact that I need a haircut. Yeah. So what else we got in the shop? We've got, I like these Amen Sister tracky top. We've got the
They come in Amen Brother as well, so we do them for both. You just got to select it in the options.
We've got the hoodies here. We've got the bag. The bag's cool. All the t-shirts are cool. Oh, there's loads of good stuff here. Oh, the link is there, guys. The link is there. Go and that's what you have to do straight after the show ends, is go and treat yourself to some merch. Somebody comments are going quite fast, so I've missed it, but someone was asking about a CD or something. Is that right?
Yeah, so recently it's not a CD, like a physical CD, but there's an album that I was asked to mix recently by DJ Hybrid, and that is Deep in the Jungle Anthems 7 Part 1. That's available now on Juno. But that was a really big project for me because Deep in the Jungle, they're like my favorite label ever. Like I love their music so much. So when he hit me up about doing a mix to be released with the album, I was just next level gassed. So yeah, I put like a lot of time and effort into that mix. Like my heart and soul went into that. Better believe it.
When they say that there's no such thing as a finished project, only an abandoned project is the sort of phrase. It's tough. I was talking earlier on to Lou as well about that. You know, getting that balance right between making sure it's right, but also you can sometimes go too far. And if you spend too long in something, it starts sounding different, and you've maybe just listened. You need fresh ears eventually. So have you got a method how you know that right? That's finished. That's it. Just finished. Just stop tinkering. That's it.
Well, I'm kind of my own worst enemy, I suppose. Like, I'm really harsh on myself. I think we all are as artists. We're always going to be the harshest on ourselves. But that's what strives us to do our best. I think when I hit my wall, that's just like you said, everything just starts sounding wrong. Nothing sounds right, and I'm just like, nah. I need to go, have a breather. Come back with fresh ears in a few hours or maybe even the next day, and then tackle it again. But I know when I'm done because I'm generally just cheesing afterwards just because I've had so much fun.
Mrs. Magoo, love your music. Big up from Athens. Yasso mi filemo. Afaristo parakalo. Hopefully my Greek's not too bad.
You speak Greek, that's awesome.
Well, I used to be able to swear in 10 different languages. I moved to Cyprus when I was a wee guy, when I was 17. Oh. So, you just picked up a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. And then, you learn the most important. I think, obviously I can't really speak languages, but I think if you try and go somewhere else, I try and learn like hello, goodbye, thank you. It's the very least you can do. I just want to differentiate myself from that Brits abroad thing.
It's courteous, isn't it? Like, people appreciate it when you make the effort,
Even if it's not very good. I mean, I think they get a good wee laugh if you come in with your thick Scottish accent and say it wrong, but they can kind of guess what you were trying to mean. It's a wicked album. It's nice well-deserved top mix. Yes, 67 tracks of pure fire. Abandoned, Mark. The girl was so positive there. Yeah, I didn't mean that she abandoned it. I meant that it's a famous phrase. There's no such song as a finished song. It's only abandoned because you could work on a song forever. It's good to abandon it eventually and move on to something else. It's not in a negative way at all. We've got
sometimes you just hit a brick wall and you just need to work on something else for a little bit, just to change your kind of thought pattern or whatever, switch it up a bit.
So we've got in the Gyro Babies, we've got an amazing producer and he's really good at mastering music. But when it came to Who Took Utopia getting released, we made a decision to bring in someone else to master it. So he could master anyone else's music, but I was like, no, you're too close to this. You're playing guitars in this. You've produced it, mixed it. We need fresh ears just to come in. Not to say he's not good at mastering. It's just that eventually you do need fresh ears. Eventually, Sharon also says that she chopped her hair off. Thank feck it's growing. That is probably.
I would do anything for a haircut right now. I can't remember the last time I had a haircut. It's so long.
Well, I've been lowering my expectations for the last all the big announcements from Nicola Sturgeon. I've been like, right, gigs, and I'm like, right, we're not getting gigs. Can we just he's a haircut? He's a haircut first, then we can talk about the gigs.
Yeah.
Big ups for Germany. It's quite an international crowd we've got tonight. Big love from Sean in Germany.
Oh, big up, Sean.
And we got someone else who said something interesting. Yes, 10 language mark. Well, I could swear in 10 languages. I don't know if I still can, but maybe that's
that's pretty impressive. You need to share that with me. I want to be able to cuss in different languages.
Yeah, well, some of them though are quite bad because I said them and then you see the reaction and you're like, all right, I need to forget that word. I need to.
To be fair though, I think just generally in other countries, I think swearing is just perceived so differently to here in the UK. Like I had to.
That's just a good point. Could you explain the word cunt? Because obviously you've got people from America, Germany, Poland, and all that. What could we explain? What if you say someone's a good cunt or a sound cunt or whatever? What's the difference?
What's the difference? Like a good cunt's like your pals, your ma, you know, like
your ma's a good cunt. But I just imagine there's people from America just going on, your ma's a good cunt. What?
It's something I had to explain a few times when I was in the States. Like you could just tell, like I'd be in a restaurant or something and I speak quite loud because I'm kind of deaf. I don't realize how loud I am speaking sometimes. And I say the word cunt, you know, quite loudly in a restaurant, and then everybody goes quiet and they're all staring at you and you're like, oh, I done it, boo-boo.
Respect that interviewer. I like this fella, top man. I respect you. Thank you. I like you. I like you too as well. Blade Runner and Magoo. Oh gosh.
Oh my God. Oh, that would be so much fun. Can we just make it happen? I've got a big long list of people that I still want to do sets with. Yeah. Blade Runner for sure. Up there with Randall.
New Zealand is in the house.
Oh yeah, man. Big up New Zealand.
Well done for ending up stranded in New Zealand or living there or whatever. I know someone who's stranded in New Zealand. They were planning on coming home last year, but I think that they're quite enjoying it just now. It looks like New Zealand have got I think 20,000 festival on last week as well. So it looks like a good place to be stuck just now. With
I know. I totally wish that I'd got myself stuck over there for sure. Like I've been watching the parties for weeks on my feed, and I'm like, oh, I want to be there.
What about Conrad subs in Magoo track? That would be sick.
Do you know what? That is something that I would really, really love to do for sure. Conrad Subs is probably one of my favorite producers at the moment. His jungle it's fucking superb. He comes with some tunes that sound like old 90s Aphrodite rolling jungle, and it's amazing that he's coming with that sound now because I don't think enough people focus on them old sounds. He's fucking sick. I'd love to sit in the studio with him. That would be so much fun.
I think Nigel's asked this question twice because he said I'd still like to know, in a slightly passive aggressive way, I'd still like to know if Magoo produced tracks, who would you like to collaborate with and why? Or do you produce tracks? I think that was the original question.
Okay, so I've actually got my first ever track coming out this year, and it's a collab with DJ Hybrid. I'm really, really excited about it because it's my first ever track that's going to get released into the world. Hybrid has been so amazing to work with. That guy is just a fucking genius, and I can't big him up enough just for how he works. So we spent like a week in the studio, like working hard on this thing, solid, and then done like a couple of little bits and bobs, you know, to it over the last wee while. So that's going to get released on Jungle Wars, Return of the 96 Rollers, boy. I'm so excited.
Well, do you know what, Mr. Magoo? It seems like our internet is working because I've taken away the green screen. So I'm going to play a short clip of you doing your thing without the glitching, because I think it will work now, because everything seems to be in working order. So this is everyone's last chance. If you do have a question, now's the time to ask it. I've just picked at random here. So I'll just check it. Sorry with you. Hold on, it's Mrs. Magoo, and is it Alexa? Drum and bass mix.
I don't know what one that is. Yeah,
I'll show you. Oh, also, there was a good question as well about your longest ever mix. What's the longest you've ever played for? Do you recognise this one?
Longest ever mix. Oh yeah, that one's cool. Longest ever mix. To be honest, I think at an actual gig it's probably been 2 hours. But like at home, when we've done like radio shows and stuff back in the day, like we played for like 6 hours and stuff, you know. Oh, I don't know how I managed it now, because boy, that's a lot of bouncing.
I suppose it's that mixture of enthusiasm you get when you're just getting good at something and you're just loving it.
Yeah, definitely. You just get into the zone, don't you? And then before you know it, it's like 6 hours have gone and you're like, damn, my ears need a break.
Let's check out this mix. So hopefully this one won't glitch, guys. That sounds a bit better.
I got you. Ready? Yeah, he's 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Yo, this is Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5 live and direct here in Glasgow, Scotland, and you call that radio?
Upon you, we are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale. We see the crimes of this government, how they support every dictator and criminal on this earth. Sometimes you can feel down. Sometimes you're
Absolutely banging. The Greens running it before. It was good to hear it without glitching. Absolutely smashed it. There is some final questions. This is your last call, guys. I'm going to wrap things up. And remember, I put a link in the comments to get that Mrs. Magoo merch, so go and do that. We've got there's a question that's been asked about Colchester twice, so I'm going to ask it. When are you coming back to Colchester?
It's funny you mentioned that. Like, I legit had a gig lined up with the Colchester crew just before COVID. So
The before times.
Yeah, before. So hopefully now that, you know, things are going to be good towards the end of the year, those guys will get in touch and we'll reschedule a date. So soon come.
New Zealand had the right idea, man. Everyone got 2.5K full lockdown for 8 weeks. I think now life is back to normal there, getting back to normal there. Seen K9 sets online and they look sick.
Yeah.
I mean, if only we lived in an island, eh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's Coco Bryce. All the 90s sounds are coming back. We've got
Coco Bryce is big producer.
Do you still have the Pew Pew hoodie on merch?
Unfortunately, no. There's no more Pew Pew hoodies. But we're doing the Amen Brother and Amen Sister varsity jackets, and there is going to be a limited edition hoodie dropping very, very soon, but you'll have to hold tight for that one.
S. Eastwood just wants to thank you for your tunes, you legend.
No, big up.
Philippa says, what's your plans for 21-22? More production, international tours? Obviously, this is a bit of a hypothetical question, as we know, but in an ideal world, what would be the plan?
So before COVID, I was actually working on my first Canadian tour. So fingers crossed, I reckon next year, probably not this year. I'm going to look to get that locked in the diary again, because Canada's been the top of my bucket list for a wee while. So definitely going to head out there. Hopefully more production as well, for sure. I got lots to learn still though, so just be gentle. Don't expect too much too soon.
I'm sure it'll be amazing. I actually found out the origins of his name like 2 nights ago. I think that's Coco Bryce from Acid House.
All right, yeah.
Coco Bryce, I think, isn't it?
Well, he's a producer. I know he makes some.
Yeah,
good
but the name where it comes from.
I don't know where it comes from.
All right, no, well, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Coco Bryce comes from the Acid House, the Irvin Welsh book that was made into a film, and yeah, it's and the boy's called Coco Bryce. He takes hunters at acid, and then he gets struck by lightning on a swing park or something.
Good
I'm sure
times.
Coco Bryce. Yeah, no, I'm not got no more spoilers, but I'm sure that's where Coco Bryce comes from. Sorry if I'm completely wrong and got that wrong. We've got yes, sorry, Chris. Sorry, Chris, I forgot to say that. Yes, we can have a shout out for drum and bass in your face. We love all the
Big
jungle.
shout out, drum and bass in your face. Pew pew.
We love all the jungle DNB. Share your music and events. 17,000 members. Absolutely, drum and bass in your face. Drop a link to the group in the comments if you want as well, and I'll bring it on the screen. Thanks for the show tonight, both of you as well. Thank you to Mrs. Magoo for joining us. And if you have enjoyed the show tonight, then just hit the subscribe button. And because we've got loads of different artists, DJs, musicians, poets, comedians, actors, the full shebang. Sorry if that was a wee bit like an advert, but sometimes people need to see the subscribe thing coming up. So just hit that big red button.
Definitely subscribe, guys. Like Mark said, he's done like 250 shows in the last year. He's been smashing it. So many different artists, and you know, it's good shit. It's good shit. Hit the button.
Hit the button. Pew pew. And big up to the reviewer. Thank you. Big up to yourselves. One more shout out to the merch thing. The merch looks absolutely amazing. I'm going to go and buy something right now since we finish. So go and support Miss Magoo. It's a really tough time for artists and DJs, and it's amazing that you're still doing the live streams for free for the fans.
Thank
So
you.
if you've got it, especially if you're on furlough and you're actually doing okay, because I know some people have got a bit, not everyone's skint. Some people got really lucky out of the deal. And if you know,
yeah, no, I definitely did not get lucky. I got shafted, boy. So the
I know.
just putting food in my belly right now.
Absolutely,
so
guys. Do it. Support the thing, because I mean, what I mean is, some people got lucky because I know people that got furloughed for a good few months where they got paid to just sit in the house 80% of their wage. And now some people are working from home, but they've got less cost because they're not having to pay for petrol or eating out every day at the local cafe. They can, work from home and save money. So if you are one of these people, you should, and you love music, then you need to support the artists that are struggling just now. Great show. Thank you, Philippa. Done, says Nigel. I don't know if he's bought a t-shirt or he's hit the red button, but either way, thank you, Nigel. Joe McCann says another great show, building a good thing. Your respect, guy. Really enjoy this. Thank you. Good shows today. Nice one, Mark. Thank you. This has been the third show of the day, and you know what? We've enjoyed it so much that we're going to come back tomorrow for another full day. At 2:00, we've got the author Dawn Izzet, who's just released her first book called Pennies from Heaven. She's a Glasgow. I know her as from running bars, so I'm really interested to hear about her story that's been turned into a book. More famous is an absolute legend. I'm sure you're aware of Mrs. Magoo, DJ, producer. And if it wasn't for him, then there's no way that you call that radio would be a thing. He mastered the early audio podcast. It gave me advice. Well, because this was an audio podcast before lockdown. It's just a wee thing I did once or twice a month. And he's mastered all the audio. And then when I moved into this format, he was just really generous with his time. And it gave me some equipment as well, just to get me started.
He's such a good egg. It's so funny. Like, it's such a small world, isn't it? Like, the circle of people and how we all know each other and that. I think that's great. But yeah, More Famous is a total G. Go on.
And I think if anyone's watching this today, I think you will appreciate his music. He's not bound by any particular genre, but he does a bit of everything. Absolutely amazing producer, DJ. And then at 7, we've got Steg G, who's bringing along his whole cast from his new album, which includes an amazing female MC called Impress. I don't know if you're aware of Impress, but absolutely smashing it. Best female MC. In fact, I don't even know why I'm saying that genre. Best MC in Scotland. They're definitely up there. And Solar Eye for Stanley Odd's going to be there. CCTV as well. So it's going to be a good one. They're celebrating the launch of a collaboration album that they've done. So it's actually out tomorrow. So we're having a wee album launch party for them. Mrs. Magoo, I will look you up and buy your hoodie or t-shirt.
Oh, you're amazing, Sharon. Thank you so much. Big up.
Can we listen to the show again? Yes, you can. The link that you're watching it on just now on YouTube will stay up. So, and also someone said earlier on, sharing is caring. So if you want to share this on your social medias, you can just, the link that you're watching this on just now, it'll just stay up. So feel free to share it, especially Bass in Your Face as well. Feel free to share this roundabout. That would be great. Great number 3 show, guys. Thank you. I love Impress. Absolutely, she's incredible. One love, people. Maximum respect from Mr. Beats. Thank you. Thank you. Any final words?
I wanna know where we're gonna see the Gyro Babies next, boy. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've got band members that obviously we can't, playing gigs is illegal, so that's kind of holding us back. But we've also got band members that are all plotted around the UK, which works fine when you've got, because obviously for big gigs or big festivals, then they'll hop in a train or whatever. But you know, I was really wanting to play the Capture Works gig because we're doing that every couple of months. We do a big live show from in real time from a venue, so there's no crowd there, but it's just great fun watching other bands do it. So I'd love to get the full band for the next one. I'm not ruling it out completely, but I think that what I will need to do is maybe get a deputy in here or there, because you can't really rely on someone coming up from London in a month's time and stuff like that. But you know what? I'm determined to do it because it's, you know, it's a lot of effort to put these shows on, and it's expensive to hire out anyway. So I might as well put my own band in there. So, you know,
definitely.
Fingers crossed, March or April, we can do a live gig. And then, you know, as soon as gigs are allowed, you know, I'm going to be in about it like a dog eating beetroot.
Dog eating beetroot.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm poised. Like my promoter hat and my artist hat is ready for stuff to come back. And I think, you know, at one point I was thinking like maybe, you know, it's time to take a year off playing gigs, and then you're like, no, never again am I going to say something so foolish.
No, never.
Keep pushing on the jungle scene up. Thanks to the interviewer. Yasumi Filo Motono. Hafaristo. And yeah, thank you, Mrs. Magoo. I'm going to go and buy your hat.
Thank you for like inviting me onto the show. Like, I do appreciate you reaching out about this. It's been good fun. Nice little chat.
It's been great. Thank you very much. All the best with everything, and hopefully see you in real life in a field somewhere.
Definitely. I want a fucking hug though.
Yeah, I know. In a post-COVID hug world. Look forward to it. All the best. Take care, guys. We're back tomorrow at 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. This is You Call That Radio TV.
You call that radio?
You Call That Radio.
Went back to the people who hated on me.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant that knocks it out in a minute.
That's mad, isn't it?
Is this a Netflix thing?
It's actually a podcast.
What the fuck's a podcast?
You know, it's kind of like a radio show.
Oh, that! Radio!
Yeah.
Just popped in there. And is there a way we can do something like that?
I couldn't help it.
By injection inside or
Yeah, I think so, because I think just paint in general, because I think like my poem is in my painting.
No, cut.